What up, guys? So last week we talked about the difference between being in Christ and abiding in Christ, and this week we were originally going to talk about the 4 different ways of abiding in Christ, but we have to slow down a little bit and we have to spend a day talking about what it means to abide. So in John chapter 15, where Jesus talks about himself as the true vine and we are the branches, we can only bear fruit if we abide in him. That word abide means to remain, to stay, or to stay put. And so over the past 2 months with COVID-19, we've all been having to stay in our homes, right? We've only left for the most essential trips. And so you could say that over the past 2 months, we have been abiding in our homes, right? We've been staying and not leaving. And I think that technology as well can provide a really cool illustration. So here we have my cell phone, we have my laptop, and they will remain at 100% battery capacity for as long as they're plugged into a power source. They don't generate their own power, they only take it and store it from another source. And say I'm using my laptop here, I'm using it to write an essay for school, I'm just using Microsoft Word, that's a rather easy application. So my laptop battery is going to drain relatively slowly. But as soon as I start using other applications like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, if I start watching a lot of YouTube, those are larger applications and they require more energy. And so my battery is going to drain a lot more quickly. And that's the same with us, right? As we only store energy from some place, we don't generate our own energy. And you know, when things are really chill and stress-free and carefree, then we may not realize that we've become unplugged because our battery will drain relatively slowly. But as soon as the cares and responsibilities and stresses and anxieties of life set in, we're going to realize, oh my gosh, if we're not plugged in, my battery is really, draining quickly. But when my laptop or my cell phone are plugged in, it doesn't matter how large the applications are, how many I have open, it's going to remain at 100% battery because again, it's just drawing energy from someplace else. It's not actually using its own. And that's the same with us. When we're plugged into our power source, right, the true power source, which is Jesus, it doesn't matter how big the trial is, how many stresses, how many cares we're going through, we're going to be able to stay at 100% battery capacity, be kind, compassionate, and patient because we're not using our own power, we're just plugged into the true power source. So I hope that this illustration really clarified some things, and next week we will talk about the 4 different ways of how to remain plugged in to Jesus, how to abide in him.